Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So I said I was going to make this video, and I am. Here's the thing. I've gotten a lot of questions from people asking me, what do I need to play in the woods? Now, I'm not going to say specific words because I want to see if I can monetize this video. So, while I was out here, of course, painting this right here, an OD green, to, kind of match my loadout a bit, I've gotten a lot of questions asking me about, what do I need to start playing in the woods? Like, what do I need to start, slinging some plastic in the woods? And I'm going to go ahead and do this video in sort of intervals. Sort of talk about, starting out, intermediate, and then, kind of go into it a little bit more. So let's just go ahead and start with the starting out. You've gotten your toy, and you are wanting to understand how to play in the woods. You're getting some friends together, you're going to go play in the woods. What do you need to play in the woods? And one of my chickens is going nuts in there. So, what do you need to start playing in the woods? Well, number one, you need the right attire. You need the right footwear. You need hydration. Because depending on when in the season you're playing in the woods, hydration is going to be a very serious thing. So let me just go ahead and start out with what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing is essentially what I would rock if I'm just going out on my casual days. Now, you can wear a t-shirt, yes, if the wood area you're playing at has no thorns, no thorn bushes, or like we like to call them prickle bushes, no vines that have thorns on them, something that where you're not going to get stuck with or sticked with, or even the thorn trees. The trees I'm talking about, the trees that have like those nice long thorns attached to them. And then headgear. A simple ball cap will do. If you really want to, you could actually buy like a cheap bicycle helmet to give you a little bit of protection. For loadout, I recommend, Surplus, Alice. Alice is the cheapest gear you can get and is the most reliable gear you can get, and is actually some you can get pre-made. You can find at any and all surplus stores or even surplus stalls at your local flea market. That's what I'd say. Now, I'm going to tell you now, if there are thorns or anything of that nature, wear a long shirt, like this Wrangler shirt I got at Walmart. You can get them on sale for like $10. Or even some long sleeve shirt will do. Yes, I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, it's going to get hot. Well, just roll up the sleeves a bit, but not all the way to where it's like up to your elbow. You want to protect your arms from those prickle bushes. That's where the hydration comes into play. Bring at least a canteen or a Camelback. And when you can and you get a chance to, drink some water on the field or off the field. Another thing is pants. Wear pants. Be it jeans, cargo pants, long pants that cover your legs is going to be an essential for this, because once again, depending on if you guys are actually tough-skinned or not, or you don't mind getting scrapes and bruises, that sort of thing. But for first-timers out there who don't want to get hurt at first and want to at least put your Band-Aid cost at a minimum, jeans, cargo pants, some kind of thick pants that will actually withstand getting pricked by prickle bushes or the thorn trees. Footwear is another one. Footwear is something I always tell people. Ankle support. Ankle support. Boots. I don't care if they're cowboy boots. I don't care if they're work boots. Boots that go above the ankle, so that way it is given arch support. My grandmother's out there right now calling her dog. Like I said before, like I was saying, ankle support is a big thing. Don't go out in the woods with your tennis shoes. Unless you're going to a field where it's an urban area, or you're going somewhere that is strictly flat land and maybe has a little bit of bumps here and there, then yeah, sure, tennis shoes work. But if you're playing out in the woods, and anyone who's played in the woods can speak from experience, there are always going to be those washed out areas where there are potholes there, where there are little holes, divots in the ground itself, or even areas where there were stumps where there are massive holes now, where the stumps have been either burned out or dug out, or even grounded out, or any way where there's a large hole at. Boots are going to be your saving grace. There have been times where I have played on the field where this is well before I got my GoPro, so I'm just going to share a story. I had this one kid who went out in tennis shoes. I warned him, hey, watch where you're going, watch where you're stepping. Even if you're running, always look down to make sure, you watch where you're going. The kid didn't listen, and he sprained his ankle. Me being me, I was able to at least take care of the problem and get him, some ice on it, because this was at a friend's place. So the friend's mom was a RN, and we were able to actually take care of the problem. Now, a big thing is that, and I'm just saying this now, there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be problems with people who may not be able to afford anything. That's fine. I have had people who've gone out in rubber boots. Yes, rubber boots, or their work boots, and they've played. It all depends on whether or not you want that ankle support in those heavily wood areas. However, you can get cheap surplus boots for relatively sub $15 or even sub $10 if you're really lucky and the person is just wanting to get rid of the boots. Again, I can't stress enough ankle support. Now, hand protection is another thing. You can actually wear like some work gloves that you may be using, that you use to work on cars or something like that. Hyper Tough's a good example of some affordable gloves. They're like $10 at Walmart. There are other work gloves that are actually really form-fitting to your hand that are actually pretty affordable. Hand protection is a big one because I actually had a wasp sting my hand, but I had a glove on and the stinger didn't go through the fabric, and I panicked. I really did. I did panic and actually kind of just smacked it and smashed it on the glove itself. This was like back in early 2015, no, mid 2015 when that happened, before I got the GoPro. Like I said, there's a lot of good advice to give to people when playing out in the woods, and everyone has a different experience. For me, I play in the deep woods because the closest field is ran by this one guy who is kind of an asshole, and the biggest field is now closed down because of COVID, and that's like a 4-hour trip, round trip. The biggest official field that's actually pretty famous, Nashville Airsoft, that's like a 6-hour drive, if not almost 7-hour drive, round trip. Then, of course, there's Memphis, and that's another pretty good long drive from us. There's one in Jackson, Tennessee that I really want to go to, but that's an hour drive, give or take. I'm getting off track. What I'm trying to say is, guys, for casual players, here is my bullet points. Clothes that's going to help protect you, understand the terrain you're playing at, and prepare for such terrain. Ankle-supporting boots. I can't stress that enough. Hydration. Have a good amount of water on you, or at least a Camelback with a good amount of water, and drink that water, depending on the season. And then finally, the big one. Know your limits. I have seen people go hard the first time around, and they did not have a good time because they just went right at it, hard as they could out of the gate. And they tired themselves out by midday and they couldn't play on anymore. Pace yourself in the game. Only exert your energy if you know you have to run. Either way, though, that's kind of my bit of advice for playing in the woods for casual players and those just starting out. Or, you know, you're the casual type who wants to start playing airsoft, but you don't know what to do. This is just sort of my advice. I know there are going to be people in the comment section who are going to give their tidbits of advice, so they're welcome to. I know Mystery Airsoft, I think, Mystery, what have you. He plays in the woods also, and I bet you he's going to give it some advice, so be sure to check him out. I hope he does a video also, because I don't know what his fields are like, but I'd love to hear his tidbit of info also. But either way, though. Thank you all for watching. As always, I've been Airsoft Al, and YouTube has been demonetizing videos lately, and we have been demonetized, so I can't believe I'm saying this. Would you kindly consider supporting us on PayPal? And if you found this advice, or at least my experiences, helpful, sound off in the comments section down below if you found it helpful. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all in the next video. Till next time, later.